All right, let's talk about routines. Hopefully, you're a big fan of routines. I certainly am. Morning routines, before work routines, after work routines, sleep routines, exercise routines. There are routines for a variety of things in life. Why? It, because they give you a step by step process to achieve an outcome. And your brain really works with those things. So, if you want to have a successful morning, a routine step-by-step process that you can follow is going to help you to do that. Now, I'm not here to explain the benefits of routines. I'm a big fan. Hopefully you are too. But I want to talk about one of the downfalls of a routine. You're like, what? How can there be a downfall to a routine? Well, there is. And that is that you can have a routine. We're going to look at, especially, let's say, a morning routine. But this applies to any routine that you may have in your life. You have your morning routine, and maybe it consists of 10 steps, for example. And you think, okay, this is a perfect routine. It's got all the things I need to do. Drink water. I want to sit and read a little bit. I want to journal. I want to take a shower, whatever it may be as part of your routine. But you've got these 10 steps. And on a great day, on a good day, maybe even on most days, you are able to go through those 10 steps and achieve a great, successful morning because you're able to get through them. But what do you do in those inevitable days? And I'm sure you've had many of these, maybe. I know I have. And that is when you wake up, maybe you're running behind, maybe you've got an earlier start to your morning than you normally do because you've got to get going, maybe you've got to get to the airport. What do you do in those days where you're like, okay, I've got very limited time, maybe a little energy, and I've still got my routine? What do I do? Well, it's easy in those times to think, well, I just don't have time to go through all those 10 steps, so I'm not going to do any of them. It's an all or nothing attitude. And maybe I'll make a video about that at some point as to why an all or nothing attitude isn't helpful. But here's how to overcome this. And that is that you want to have two types or levels of your routine. You've got your main pro level, if you will, where you've got all 10 steps to your morning routine or your before work routine or your sleep routine. But on those days when you're just not able to do it at full force, then what you want to do is create a simplified version. Maybe the amount of times that you spend walking or journaling, or instead of doing 15 minutes, maybe you do 5, maybe you do 2. Or maybe you eliminate some of the steps altogether so that you're able to concentrate on just a few things. This is your simplified version of your routine. You've got your main version, and then you have a simplified version. And getting clear about what steps that includes so you can know that you're still doing it successfully on those days where you just don't have the energy or the time, but you know exactly what you need to do. So have two versions of your various routines. That way, on those days where you don't have the time, you don't have the energy to do that thing, well, you can still do your routine. It may not be 100%, that's okay. And it's important to understand it's not the intensity of the routine that is the most important thing, really. Many times it's the consistency. Because if you skip a day because it's just too many steps, too much to do today, then it's easy to skip the second day and the third day and so on. But if you have a way to maintain consistency by having a main level routine and a simplified version that you can do on those days where you just don't have the energy, that's going to help you to maintain your momentum and keep it going so that you can continue to practice those routines. That is what is the most important thing. So figure that out for yourself. Look at the routines that you have in your life. What are simplified versions of those? Write them down so you are clear about that and put it into action and see if you don't find that helpful in maintaining these routines to have a successful life. All right? So I hope you found this useful, and I hope that you have an amazing day.